Obesity causes cancer. You can lower your cancer risk by losing weight. In this video, you're going to learn why being overweight can increase your cancer risk. Then I will explain the real cause of obesity and how to avoid it. Learn an effortless way to lose weight without starving yourself or exercising to death. Obesity is when you have too much body fat. You can measure your obesity by using body mass index, BMI. BMI is your body's weight divided by your height squared. If this scale is below 18.5, then you're underweight. If you're between 18.5 and 24.9, you have a normal weight. And if you're between 25 and 29.9, you're overweight. From 30 to 39.9, you're obese. And extreme obesity is when your BMI is over 40. Obesity has become more common in the United States in recent years. In 2011, 27.4% of adults 18 or older were obese or severely obese. In 2020, 31.9% of adults 18 or older were obese or severely obese. And the number of obese children and adolescents also increased. From 2011 to 2012, 16.9% of 2 to 19-year-olds were obese and 5.6% were severely obese. In 2017 and 2018, 19.3% of the same age group were obese and 6.1% were severely obese. Medical costs of obesity in the United States were nearly $173 billion in 2019. And the average medical expense of overweight people was $1,861 more than slender people. Overweight people also have a greater risk of getting sick, such as diabetes, high blood pressure, heart issues, and stroke. And it can also increase your risk of at least 13 types of cancers. Obesity also can boost your risk of dying from all causes. Between 2011 to 2015, 4.7% of men and 9.6% of women got cancer due to being overweight. A 2018 study found that excess body weight led to about 3.9% of all global cancers. IARC also concluded that higher amounts of body fat increase the risk of many cancers. The same foods that cause obesity also increase your cancer risk. The same villain is animal products and processed food. There are different things in meat that can increase your cancer risk. One is IGF-1, which is a growth hormone that we need at the beginning of life when we need to grow. But as we grow older, we don't need it as much. Excess IGF-1 increases our cancer risk, especially breast cancer. Meat, eggs, and dairy raise our IGF-1. If you put people on a plant-based diet, their IGF-1 levels go down, and if they follow it for years, their levels can drop even further. In as little as 2 weeks on a plant-based diet, you can bring down your liver's production of IGF-1. But if you start to eat animal products again and add back the same amount of IGF-1, you erase the diet and exercise effect. Another thing in meat that can cause cancer is heterocyclic amines. It's created when you cook meat. The grill marks on meat are heterocyclic amines, which cause more cancer. Another issue in meat is heme iron. So there are two types of iron, heme iron and non-heme iron. Heme iron comes from meat, while non-heme iron comes from plants. And the iron from a plant-based diet doesn't cause cancer, while the iron from meat causes cancer. Other problems with meat are saturated fat and cholesterol. Saturated fat intake can increase our prostate cancer risk. In one study, the top third that ate the most animal foods tripled their death from prostate cancer. Saturated fat can also increase our risk of dying from breast cancer. Another problem with meat is high estrogen levels. Estrogen can increase the risk of breast, endometrial, ovarian, and other cancers. Obese people also have more gallstones than healthy individuals. They are a sign that you are toxic. It's a mechanism that the body uses to deal with all the toxins. Obesity can also lead to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and it can also lead to oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is a condition where your antioxidant levels are lower than normal. Antioxidants prevent or slow down the damage to cells caused by free radicals. Free radicals are waste substances in the body when the body processes food or reacts to the environment. Oxidative stress can lead to DNA damage and increase the risk of cancer. So high animal fat intake may also increase death among breast cancer survivors. It may cause cancer through oxidative stress, hormone disruption, or inflammation. Being overweight also puts a strain on our bodies when we need to carry extra weight. The reason why so many people are fat today is the easy access to animal products. If you look back in history, only kings or pharaohs could afford meat, while the slaves and peasants ate a more plant-based diet and were slimmer. If we are supposed to eat meat, then why are more people obese today? The reason why people are obese is that humans are herbivores and not meat eaters. We are supposed to eat plants. Every animal on earth has its perfect diet, and as long as we eat counter to what our body needs, we become sick and obese. As soon as you give an animal the wrong diet, they start to have diseases. Humans are not great at digesting fat. Most of our obesity comes from fat. Fat is an essential macronutrient. Fat consists of complex molecules of carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. The body uses fat for energy storage when there is no food available, such as when there is a famine. Fats and oils differ in that fats are solid at room temperature, while oils are liquid. This has to do with the chemical structure. All fats consist of carbon atoms attached to long chains, and when the strings are more linear and rigid, they make the final products more stable. And when the chains bend and are more flexible and loose, they become a liquid. If you look worldwide, countries that eat lots of fat and meat are the most obese. And countries like Japan have very little obesity. And if you look at their diet, they eat mostly rice and other small condiments and very little meat. Humans are not great at burning fat, and when we eat animal products, we increase our fat storage in the body. Most plants contain very little fat. So 1 gram of fat contains 9 calories, while carbohydrates only have 4 calories per gram. If you eat a low-fat plant-based diet, it's really hard to become fat, such as eating starchy vegetables, and fruits. Some foods have more fat, such as nuts, seeds, and avocados. Therefore, you need to eat less of these foods to lose weight. Dr. John McDougall says that the fat you eat is the fat you wear. He has been successful in making people lose weight, and he uses a starch-based diet where he doesn't allow fatty foods. Animal products contain a lot of fat, and it's easy to become obese if you eat too much of them. One food group that causes the most obesity is dairy products. Cow's milk is food for calves. Milk contains a lot of calories to make a calf grow several hundred pounds in a short time. Humans are the only species that drinks another animal's milk. Dairy has the same cancer-causing effects as meat, such as IGF-1, cholesterol, and saturated fat. Dairy contains around 70% fat and is one of the primary reasons why people suffer from obesity. We have often heard that dairy creates strong bones. But if you look around the world, countries that consume more milk have a higher incidence of osteoporosis, which leads to broken bones. So non-organic cow's milk contains a lot of hormones, antibiotics, steroids, and pesticides. Even organic dairy won't protect you from harm. Milk contains over 60 different hormones, even if you don't add anything to it. You can also use dairy to create cheese. So cheese is a blob of fat that doesn't contain any fiber, and it's easy to get addicted to it. 3 things in cheese make it addictive, such as salt, fat, and casomorphins. The purpose of the salt is to stop bacteria from fermenting into mush. And casomorphins are protein fragments from the digestion of the milk protein casein. So casomorphins are opiates. Opiates are in the same chemical class as narcotic painkillers like heroin or morphine. casomorphins make the calves crave milk, and that's the reason why cheese is so addictive. More cheese leads to more obesity and is one of the reasons why Americans are so fat. If you eat a diet designed for your body, obesity shouldn't be a problem. Being overweight is not normal and is a sign that you're toxic. And because cancer is caused by toxins, you only increase your cancer risk by being obese. Most people believe they become fatter as they grow older, but it's caused by an unhealthy diet. Obesity is not a normal process caused by aging or our genes. When we eat foods designed for us, it's effortless to lose weight. It's never too late to lose weight. Obesity is a sign that you have eaten too much fat, and if you eat a healthy plant-based diet, your body can finally eliminate the poisons and fat inside you, and you will slowly lose weight. So most weight coaches use calorie restriction and exercise to make people lose weight. But this process only makes them hungrier and exhausted. You might have short-term effects, but it's not a sustainable way of living. And that's why so many weight loss programs fail. People don't want to starve themselves to lose weight. And after they have been through the weight loss program, they often relapse again. The National Institutes of Health, NIH, released a study that followed 14 former Biggest Loser contestants for 6 years. The participants gained most of their weight back that they lost on the show, and in some cases they even became heavier. Weight programs often fail because the diet still contains animal products and fat. The only reason why you lose weight is because of your negative caloric intake. And when you don't keep exercising and starving yourself, your fat and toxins will return. If you eat a whole food, low-fat, plant-based diet, you don't need to starve yourself to lose weight. So focus on eating vegetables, fruits, beans, and grains. So these foods have more carbohydrates and sufficient amounts of protein and little fat. Avoid fatty plant foods such as nuts, seeds, avocado, vegetable oils, and margarine. If you follow this plan, your weight will go away without effort. If you eat this diet, 80% of your calories will come from carbs, 10% from protein, and only 10% from fats. When you eat a diet designed for your body, obesity will be a thing of the past. There is no need to count calories, starve yourself, or exercise to death. On a high-carb, low-fat diet, you only need to eat until you feel full. And because plant foods only have half the calories, you can eat double the amount of food and still lose weight. Carbs don't turn into body fat that easily. Your body can turn carbs into fat in a process called de novo lipogenesis. Pigs and cows can use this process to convert carbohydrates into fats. But for us, this process is very limited. The cost for this conversion is 30% of the calories consumed. Instead, the body breaks down complex carbohydrates into simple sugars, and then the body absorbs these sugars into the bloodstream and gives energy to trillions of cells. The only reason carbs can make you fat is if you overeat at an extreme rate, or you combine it with fats such as pastries, cookies, and cakes. The weight loss industry is a huge business. There have been many different diet fads. In 1972, Robert Atkins published his book, Dr. Atkins' Diet Revolution. This book sold millions of copies. Dr. Atkins told everyone you could eat animal products and still lose weight. There were many different incarnations of his low-carb trend. One such diet is the ketogenic diet. On this diet, about 60 to 75% of your food consists of fat. 15 to 30% is protein, and only 5 to 10% is carbs. The goal of this diet is to reach a state called ketosis. But in order to reach this goal, you are only allowed to eat a small number of carbohydrates. So we store excess carbs as glycogen in the liver and our muscles. Glycogen consists of glucose mixed with water, and to reach ketosis, you need to deplete your glycogen stores. What the ketogenic diet does is mimicking starvation. The body then needs to find an alternative energy source to survive. Your brain runs off glucose and is dependent on carbohydrates for energy. but the brain can use ketones as an emergency backup if you don't have carbohydrates. Ketosis occurs when people are starving to death. And during starvation, your body suppresses your hunger signals. So most of the reduced weight is because of water loss. Some claim that keto can starve cancer cells when you don't give them any sugar. Cancer develops when there's little oxygen in the cells, and it therefore needs to find an alternative energy source, and therefore cancer cells use sugar as a backup fuel. But cancer is flexible and can feed on fat and ketones too if it doesn't have any access to glucose. A 2012 study showed that tumors could use ketones for fuel. Carbohydrates are not the cause of our cancer, it's the toxins. When you eat a clean, plant-based diet, you can reduce your cancer risk. If you starve your body of glucose, cancer cells will only adapt to using fatty acids or amino acids for energy. Animal products increase our risk of cancer, and eating a keto diet will not prevent that. If you want to learn how to lose weight in a safe way, then you should read our nutrition guide. In this guide, you will discover more about fat, carbohydrates, and protein, and how to eat a healthy diet. You will learn a way to lose weight without starving yourself or exercising to death. I will provide a link to this guide in the description box below. You can also visit our homepage cancerwisdom.net to learn more ways to prevent cancer by using natural remedies. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.